When it comes to a creative idea, for example, it really feels like if you don't catch it sometimes, you miss it. It's like having a dream and having an entire composition. You hear it, you hear the entire part, the verses, the chorus, the instrumentals, like they're beautiful. And you wake up and you go to your voice notes or whatever. It's like you have to get it down then. Otherwise, if you wait, you're going to forget the whole thing. I love that about creativity because there's that part of, oh wait, I gotta get it. But then there's that part too that's really beautiful of not being able to get it, and it just comes and it goes because it forces you to just be present to that experience and sensation. That concept is not entirely new to me. It's something I've sat with for years and years and years, especially when it comes to writing or ideas in general. In the creative realm, that sense of having something and feeling it in every fiber of your body and recognizing, oh, if I don't grab onto this, it's going to disappear. But the older I've gotten, especially the past few years, I've really been exploring how not everything is meant to be seized. And I think we live in a world where we're taught that if it's for you, go and get it. If it's not for you, go and grab onto it and hold on to it. And especially those moments that light you up, those moments that bring you into yourself, we're taught to get it, grab it, embody it, and make it your thing. For instance, a yoga session changes someone's life. What happens? They go and do yoga teacher training, and that becomes their entire life, versus just letting yourself be with an experience or a moment that just shifts you entirely and not feeling like you have to start identifying with that. And so I think when it comes to the creative process, what that's taught me is deciphering what is for me to embrace and embody and what's for me to enjoy in that moment and let that go. What is for me to just have for myself to let it sink in and integrate it and let it change me and evolve me, but it's not that I'm supposed to grab it and change it and evolve it. So I'm going to get into that a little bit because I've been thinking about how it applies to love and relationships and how sometimes we meet people. This could be a friendship, this could be a romantic relationship, this could be just any type of relationship that this theme resonates with. But sometimes we experience things and they really shake us at the core in like the best way possible. And for me, there have been moments where I find home in myself and I find home with someone else and I find home in an experience or a circumstance or whatever it is. And it can be very confusing when there's this letting go and this grief that you're forced to have with it. It's very different from this feels right to let it go, so I'm going to let it go and follow that. Sometimes there are things in life that are confusing when you have to let it go because it might not be out of your doing or something that is just purely out of your conscious direct choice is the best way I'll frame it. It feels very complex, but it feels unfair at the end of the day. And I've been sitting with that feeling of discomfort and knowing that something can be so heart opening. And again, this can apply to anything. It can apply to a relationship, but it can also just apply to, a yoga class, a nice stretch session that just open your hips and it's like, wow, I felt a release that I've never felt. I did a workout and I felt this rush of endorphins and this intense relaxation that I've never felt in my life, and I want to go back to that and just stay in that place. It's really easy to feel something and then start to form expectations and set this limit or set this idea that this thing represents this form of happiness. So there's like that, of course, that endorphin neurological side of things, but I'm talking more just in that sense when it really touches your soul and it feels like there's a home and an understanding in your soul that you got to feel with yourself. Trying to make sense of something that's not supposed to be opened up and unpacked in that way can be so counterproductive because some stuff really isn't meant to be touched. And that's sometimes my issue when it comes to psychology or when it comes to therapy that's just purely in the headspace, because There are things that aren't meant to be unpacked and unraveled. They're just meant to be felt without any thought or narrative attached to it. It's just meant to be and meant to be enjoyed and meant to be held and given gratitude for in the moments that you have it. And yes, it could be this life-changing thing and it could make no sense that it's not there anymore. It can bring no logical understanding as to why you can't have it in your life or why it's not yours to embrace, embody, to make art out of, like whatever it is. I sometimes have a hard time sitting with the fact that not everything is meant to have a hard reason as to why it ends. It's not meant to just feel like this is your time to let it go. Some things really don't need to be explained. Some things really aren't meant to have an explanation or a clear shift. Yeah, period. They're just not meant to have meaning made out of it. And I think sometimes when it comes to the best things or the things that really hit us hard and just birth life into our senses and our sense of self and again home, comfort, security, safety, really just make us vulnerable to love. I think sometimes those are the ones that feel like it's here and then it's gone, because those are almost the most divine aspects. I want to transition that back into the art space a little bit and creativity and embodiment in the body, because when it comes to dance, for example, there are moments where you can be very technical and very much just like in the head and robotic, and it's just your body knows what to do and you trust that, and you can also feel the sensation and feel the joy and feel the endorphins and all of that and the connection through that. But then there are moments where you just feel like you're taken over and you're led by something else, and it feels so divinely aligned. In those moments, it comes and then it goes. With art itself or with certain experiences, it comes and then it goes. And I feel like sometimes we're so wired to then chase the moments that it was there. And it's like, wait, I need to go back to that place. I need to get back there. That's right. That moment felt right. So that's where I need to be. Where I think that in life and creativity and just the human experience, it's not about getting back to that place and staying in that place of quote unquote right. It's about allowing yourself to explore what that means in other moments. It's about the getting on that, getting off that, getting on that, getting off that. It's not about seizing and staying, because I don't think we'll ever be able to seize and stay in that place forever and ever and ever. Because every moment's going to reshape and every moment's going to expand and every moment's just going to change. And feeling like we're off of it only means that we have more chances to explore what that connection feels like. And I think that there are an infinite number of ways to explore that connection, but to understand what that feels like to feel, we have to know what the opposite feels like, but also know that it's not necessarily the opposite. It's just a reconfiguration of that alignment in one moment, or that sensation of just, wow, this feels like I'm really doing life and really in my body, or really just feeling love. That is going to feel different moment to moment. So you might feel that exact same thing in a different moment and think you're not feeling it because it's a new moment. So it's a new opportunity to explore what that feels like. And so it's not even necessarily about polarity. It's not about feeling versus not feeling. It's purely about the fact that every moment you're exploring a different configuration of those sensations. So it's important to sit with the discomfort of having to not hold on to something. I'm trying to steer myself away from using the phrase letting it go, because I think one thing I've been thinking about the past 20 minutes is that you don't really have to let it go. If something, an experience, a person really shaped you and helped you find and open yourself up in a different way, then that's integrated into you. So it's not necessarily about letting it go, it's just about holding on to it and forming expectations around it. Because then you're blocking that from really transforming and evolving you. Because it's not about holding on, it's about letting it rework itself and inviting it to show up again and staying open and curious when it comes to what that looks like in the new moment. And also just letting go of that mental narrative of what it looks like if it shows up again, because the most mundane moments are where I feel like we should be putting our attention to find that magic, to find that intense, soulful, passionate love, to find just those sparks, because it's really easy to go looking for it in moments of risks and thrills and moments where we already are going to feel connected to the space of the unknown and I don't know what's going to happen. What about putting our attention onto finding those moments of unknown in the mundane, in the habitual acts of every day, and not through expectation, not with the hope of finding it necessarily, because then we're trying to make some sort of meaning out of it through here. But what does it mean to just allow and to stay present in our bodies and just let it unfold without saying, yes, this is it or this is not it? When it comes to love, when it comes to art, when it comes to anything where we feel that sensation of like, I'm on this planet and I'm doing it and I feel right. Holding gratitude for those moments, but allowing it and asking yourself to let it be transformed, let it be transmuted, let it transform you, but not asking yourself to chase it or hold on to it or expect anything of it, because it's just going to block you from the exploration of everything else. Yeah, if you want to learn more about creativity as the work I do, soulvolume.com, and I will link everything below. Maybe one day figure out how to promote everything because I feel a little awkward. But until then, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video, and yeah, I guess let me know your thoughts or don't. Let yourself know your thoughts or don't. But I will see you when I see you. Bye.